Hello riders and adventurers, welcome back to Shiny Head Rides. Winter is here and it's time to tuck our bikes in for the season. But before we cover them up and say goodbye, let's talk about what you need to do to keep your motorcycle in top shape for the next riding season. Let's get started. The first thing you should do is fill your fuel tank to the top, especially if you have one made from metal. A full tank reduces air exposure, which prevents the formation of rust in your fuel tank and keeps the fuel clean. Also, depending on how long the winter season lasts where you live, you might decide to add some fuel stabilizers to make it last longer and prevent the injectors or carburetor from clogging. I usually don't do this as the off-season here in Serbia isn't that long, and occasionally I turn the bike on, which is the next thing you should do. Once a week, I like to turn on the bike and leave it work for around 10 to 15 minutes. You don't have to drive it, it's just important that it stays working for a certain amount of time to run the liquids through the system. Aside from antifreeze and fuel, it is very important for oil to get hot and moving, because if it sits for too long, at the bottom of the oil tank a jello-like sludge can form, which can clog your engine's inner workings, block oil passages, and prevent the proper distribution of oil throughout the engine. So, having the bike work for a small amount of time solves this issue. Now, depending on if your bike is inside or outside and how long it will stay turned off, you should think about removing the battery. My bike is in the garage and I will turn it on every week or so I will leave the battery in. I also might occasionally drive it if I feel like it, but if you are leaving your bike outside, it is a good idea to remove the battery and plug it in on the charger or a battery maintainer. This doesn't take a long time to do and it can keep your battery running for a longer time. Two things batteries don't like are not working for a longer time and cold. Cold temperatures can drain the battery fast, and longer periods of inactivity can lead to sulfation, which reduces its ability to hold a charge. We also have to mention covering the bike up to protect it from rain and snow. If your bike is outside, don't forget to use the cover and don't forget to protect your wheels. I often see people covering their bikes but leaving the wheels out in the open. This can be a big issue, especially for spoked wheels, as they have a lot of openings and places where water can collect. But there is a bigger problem than water collecting in those crevices, and that's salt. Salt is very corrosive and it can destroy anything metal very quickly. So try to protect your wheels as much as possible. On the other hand, if your bike is inside, you can always cover it up a little bit to protect it from dust. Before we move on, let's go back to wheels once again. Protecting wheels from snow and salt is very important, but it is also important to move the bike once in a while. If tires stay in one spot for a long time, they can get deflated and can form bumps. So when I go to turn on the bike to let it work a little, I also make sure to move the bike a couple of meters back and forth, just to work out those tires. It's a good idea to also check the tire pressure, as in cold tires shrink, which can cause a decrease in pressure and can make the tires deflate. Finally, don't forget to lube the chain or any exposed moving parts. Rust can accumulate quickly in winter, and proper lubrication protects against moisture and ensures everything stays in excellent condition. That's it for today's winter prep guide. Following these steps will keep your motorcycle safe and ready to ride when the snow melts. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe button, and if I missed something, please leave it in the comments. Stay warm, and I'll see you on the next ride.